Hey everybody, it's Fatboy12 doing another review. It's been a long time, I had to deal with school. Now school's over, and I moved my computer around to like different places, and you know what? I was sitting here and I was really bored one day, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a video on something that I really take passionate into, and a lot of people don't understand why until I tell them the whole story, and it's a long story, but people understand why I love the trilogy so much because of it. And you probably heard about 1,000 different stories because the movies are so good. And people will not understand. My generation will understand why these movies were so good. My kids, hopefully, when I have children, will understand why these movies are so good. It's because Christopher Nolan, he's hands down one of my favorite, directors and producers and screenwriters. But what he did to those movies is made it to the point where you had these Batman fans who were hiding their heads because, when Tim Burton came out, everyone was a Batman fan. Joker, Jack Nicholson, the guy who played the Joker, phenomenal character, brought the character to the big screen, which made everyone a big Batman fan. The first Batman with Michael Keaton in it, phenomenal. The second one, not so good. Third one, worse than it was. The only reason that the third one was a little bit good is because Jim Carrey brought out the character of the Riddler. And the only way to make a good Batman movie, I'm sorry to say this, you have to have the right actors who can play the role of these characters that we all fall in love with. I mean, back in the 80s, Jack Nicholson brought us the Joker. We loved the Joker. We wanted more of Batman. When that first movie came out, I wasn't around, but my uncle and my whole family has told me that that movie was huge. It was sold out all the time. People were going constantly more than one time because the movie was doing so good. So good. And it just started going downhill because they were picking these big time celebrities who thought were going to play these characters well, but they weren't. They're not right. I mean, when you pick Danny DeVito as Penguin, he didn't even play the character as Penguin. There was only a couple scenes that he looked like Penguin. Penguin is not a sloppy mess. Penguin is really clean and rich and has money and doesn't live in a sewer with penguins. It's dumb. That's dumb. It's stupid. And then they come out with, a different Batman and a different writer. That's the one thing Warner Brothers did wrong. They started, you know what? They were like, okay, we didn't do so well with the second one, so they got rid of Tim Burton, brought in someone else, and said, here, make another Batman movie without the Joker or Penguin. Go right ahead. Just go out with a bang. So he brought in Two-Face and the Riddler. Two-Face is my favorite villain. Hands down my favorite villain. I mean, the guy is just creepy. It's I will get into that later. But as I was saying, you can't do that with Tommy Lee Jones. He's a phenomenal actor. I liked him in a lot of movies, but it just wasn't his role. And then Jim Carrey with the Riddler is awesome. As I was saying, Batman fans started putting their heads down because they were making crap. And then when they came out with that Batman and Robin movie, oh, there are so many things wrong with that movie. This is why you don't give Arnold Schwarzenegger a part of Batman, because that's how horrible the movie was. But anyways, as I was saying, the reason the Dark Knight trilogy is so good is because it's not like the cartoon. You will hear it a constant about 1,000 times, even more. It is not like the cartoon. It is reality. What would Batman really be like if he was like a regular person? What would reality, not a comic book, a reality, if Batman was real? Just like the movie The Watchmen. What if superheroes were real? That's what their life would be. And then there's the comic book status where everyone knows the famous lines, the famous characters, the famous outfits. No, Christopher Nolan brought reality to this. This is what makes the Dark Knight trilogy so good. So freaking good is because, listen, when Batman Begins came out, not a lot of people understood the movie. Not a lot of people who have only seen The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises know that there is a Batman Begins. Only because it brought the character to life. If you watch the movie and just sit there and listen and just focus, you will understand that it's building this character that we're going to soon to love in The Dark Knight. This soon to character where you think, like, you just think, like, oh my god, like, I cannot wait to see the second one because I could not take my eyes off of it. I was watching Batman Begins, and I realized something, that Christopher Nolan is a freaking genius. Not a lot of people understand that. He's a freaking genius. If you did not watch Batman Begins, you will not get The Dark Knight Rises. That's what makes these movies so good, is that they all fit together. They do. Batman Begins had Scarecrow. Not the greatest villain in the world, but Christopher Nolan picked, a phenomenal actor. I forgot his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't speak it out right now. But he fit the character. That's what makes the Dark Knight trilogy so well. And Ra's al Ghul played by Liam Neeson, I think. Liam Neeson, or I don't know. But anyways, good, because he had that mentality of this, over the line, tutor, and it fit within, and then of course, Christian Bale, probably the best Batman besides Michael Keaton ever, because not only did he give Batman a good costume, and it showed you how he became the character, how he got the costume. First of all, it was made from his company. He didn't make it. His company made it. The suit, all the stuff. And he got the bat car from there that he painted black. So this is all reality. He don't just build it and gets this cool freaking, with the wings attached to it. That's dumb. That's stupid. No, you get a freaking, army vehicle and paint it black, and that's the Batmobile. That's awesome. Now, there are so many characters I could brought out, and I could go on forever about that movie, but this is why it's so good. You have all these great characters. You have all these phenomenal actors who play these characters. Of course, Heath Ledger, probably one of the only Jokers that could take it over the top and become a method actor, took it over the limit, did what he had to do, and he just blew it up, sparked it up, had it. Christopher Nolan, he knew Heath Ledger was this character. As soon as he found out that Heath Ledger likes to take within characters, who likes to get in the minds, he knew that the Joker was so phenomenal and there was so much stuff about him that Heath Ledger would take this over the top and just take off with it. That's why he gave it to him. Not a lot of people understand that. No, he's a good joke. He does a good Joker laugh. He does it. No, bullshit. Because he's a method actor. The Joker is so unique, you have to get into the character. Unfortunately, Jack Nicholson didn't get really into the character, only because he was so freaking good at laughing and telling those goddamn jokes that we quote still to this day, that I still do. That's what made him a good Joker. But this one, look, you could totally tell. You would take the two. Jack Nicholson, cartoon. The Joker, Heath Ledger, reality. That's what makes him so good. And then finally, The Dark Knight Rises. Tom Hardy, which is like a phenomenal, a good actor. I loved him in Inception. I mean, he was perfect in that role. He's freaking hysterical. But Tom Hardy, a good friend of Christopher Nolan's, was played by Bane. Now, Bane's character is a lot harder to put him as a big time, villain, but you had, the comic book where, I'm not going to spoil anything, but pretty much Bane kills Batman. So when I saw this trailer and, when it came out and I was sitting there and I'm going, all right, I got to go. I'm a huge Batman fan. That's what I'm doing. I saw Batman Begins in the movie theater. I saw The Dark Knight like 3 times in the movie theater. That shows you how good those movies are. So I knew I was going to go see The Dark Knight Rises. Well, when I saw the trailer and I saw Bane, the first line that came to my mind is Batman's going to die. And I was like, shit, this sucks because you don't want him to die. But you had all these hints of, the legend ends, and it shows like Batman's mask all messed up on the poster, which I have on my phone. That shows you how big of a fan I am. And it sucks because you're like, shit. Only one thing that comes to mind, Batman's gonna die. And, spoiler alert, if you do not want to know what happened, turn this off now. But Batman did not die. This is what makes this movie so good. If you paid attention to The Dark Knight, there's a scene where they're sitting at the dinner table saying, how they're like, oh, it's either you die a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's what Harvey Dent with Two-Face. Which, by the way, was probably the best Two-Face I have ever seen. Even though it wasn't the only one, it was the second one, and it was the best one. I will give it that. But if you really pay attention to the scene, there's a scene in there and saying Batman could be anyone. I don't think he wants to live long enough, to do this forever. That's what makes this movie so good. People's like, oh, John Blake, he's going to be Robin. No. Christopher Nolan only did that for fan favorites because they were mad because he did not bring the character to it. So he put a name out there so he shut up fans like you people who go, why is there no Robin? It's not Batman. There you go. Shut up. Now here's another thing. This reason at the end of the movie, people think he's going to be the Robin and blah, 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 or he's going to be the next Batman. Yes. Christian Bale, known as Bruce Wayne, pretends to kill himself to get away from Gotham, to finally end his pain of this person that's becoming him. That's what this whole Dark Knight Rises was. It was him with this character who was at the top of the world just drops, and reality kicked in. This is why he had to build himself back up to the top and then destroy himself, so he was stuck at the top with this character. That's why he did it. But Blake was the only last innocent cop in Gotham besides Gordon. Gordon's really old. Blake's still got a long time to go. So what more to do is to say this. It's like a football player. I'm retiring as a quarterback. I'm giving the rookie the football to take over the team, people. Listen, Bruce Wayne, gone. Who comes in as a starting quarterback? Blake is Batman. That's how they finish it. Batman, the legacy is not a person. It's not just Bruce Wayne. It's a legacy that needs to be filled on and on and on and on and on for. Batman is a legacy that Blake will take over. Bruce Wayne's out. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He can't do it forever. Just like Alfred said in the movie, if you pay attention to these movies and understand, you will know that it takes time. I'm tired of hearing all these people like, oh, there's going to be Batman 4, blah, 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 blah. No. Christopher Nolan has said it about 1,000 times. I'm done making Batman, which is a good thing because he should not make another Batman, and people should not reboot it. But most likely they're going to come out with another one because it's so freaking good that people want more, because we're all greedy for this character that's so awesome that Christopher Nolan took off for. It's like a roller coaster. Batman, Batman Begins, and then Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. We're at the top. We're stuck. We need to stay there. We're at the top. But if you make another movie, done. It's over. This is why the Dark Knight trilogy is amazing. It's because there's so much stuff that we did not notice, that we do not understand until you watch it again and understand it when you listen to the words that are said. Now, I'm not saying this to be mean to the people who want it to happen. I want it to happen too. I want more Batman. I want to see more Batman, but we cannot have more Batman because Bruce Wayne is dead in Gotham. You cannot just bring him back and saying, "Oh, here I am. I'm Batman and I'm Bruce Wayne." No, it's over, people. I'm very sorry for you to take a reality check and just do that. So, anyways, since my heart's like going about 1,000 miles an hour, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna do a couple more of these YouTube videos because I got my all new setup. So, you know, hit me up. I have a Twitter. I have Twitter, and you can follow me there. It's I'll put the link in there so you can follow me on anything you want. So subscribe, please, and please comment or thumbs up. I really don't care. But thanks for guys for watching. See you guys on the flip side.